So a gentleman figured out how to get access to all the diagnostic codes that are used to deny you warranty inside of the battery that you use for some of your power tools. For anybody who's familiar with these all-American brands like Milwaukee, a lot of these companies, whether it's Milwaukee or Hoover, or all these old brands, were bought up by a company called TTI, which makes complete and utter garbage. I did a video on a Hoover Streamline floor cleaner. This is almost as bad as Apple products, even worse because this is literally supposed to be designed to work with water. And as you can see in this video, I demonstrate how this is designed to run water over electrical contact points that will let it know that that everything is put together the way it should be. So if it doesn't see that electrical point is making contact, it assumes that I've taken off the cover, and then it doesn't work. And because the water is running over that electrical contact point, it corrodes. TTI Floor Care is really, this is just a very, very small canary in the coal mine for what's been going on for the past 20 to 30 years, where companies will buy companies that buy companies that buy companies, and because of the way everything works in our society, they're allowed to keep the logo and the name the same. So you don't really know that what you're buying is a watered-down piece of garbage made by a company that has sold out 6 to 10 times over, but you figure it out once you actually need warranty or support, or you use your floor cleaner after 2 months and you expect it to actually turn on and clean your fucking floor. This is what they've done with this battery. So what they do is they've set this up so that when you're using your power tool, anytime there are certain events, they get flagged inside of the battery, and all the stuff is stored in the battery. Now, if you want your battery replaced under warranty, they require you send the old battery back, and they're going to be able to get access to all this information that you don't get access to on how you use the tool. There are people that have been told to use the battery in too hot conditions when they literally left the tool in their car, and the tool was not actually being used inside of their car. It wasn't on. So you weren't even putting load in the battery. The battery simply existed in a car, but they're telling customers, well, you used your battery at a high temperature, therefore your warranty is void. There are many of these items that you don't actually have access to because you don't have access to the diagnostic code, so you can't see what it is that they see. What I find to be the funniest, most American engineered thing in this entire setup is for all the spyware in there and for all the work that they put in so that you don't have access to the diagnostic stuff in your battery, because that's what I call it. If it's a diagnostic tool that is only used to void my warranty, but I can't actually read, that's not diagnostic software. That's spyware. They did not put in any code in there to actually do battery balancing, so the batteries would last. For those of you who don't understand how this works, when you buy a 52-volt battery for a tool, you're not buying a 52-volt battery. You're actually buying 14 3.7-volt batteries that are put in series. That's how lithium-ion batteries work. When you have a laptop, you don't have one battery. It's a bunch of batteries inside of there because lithium-ion batteries are made to be charged to 4.2 volts. They can be discharged to around like 2.6, 2.8, and the nominal voltage is 3.7. So when you are putting this together, you don't have one battery. You have multiple. So if you have 14 batteries inside that piece of kit to get to 52 volts, you have to make sure that they are balanced as they're charging, because you can't discharge these batteries past a certain point or they stop working. If you consistently allow a lithium-ion battery to get discharged past 2.6, 2.8, depending on the chemistry, it's going to go to shit. So they will have a hard cutoff where once your battery is at 2.6 volts, that shows up as 0% to you inside of whatever tool it is you're using. Now, if you're using 14 batteries in series, some of those batteries may be 3 volts and some of them may be 2.6. But remember, only one of those 14 batteries has to hit 2.6 for the entire system to turn off. The importance of battery balancing is to make sure that every one of those batteries while charging is charged evenly. And as the battery gets older, some of those really old cells are not going to be able to make it all the way to 4.2. But you can get close to it if you actually pay attention to it. Stupid battery chargers just say, oh, enough of us have hit 4.2. We're done. Even if there's batteries in there that are 3.2 or 3.5 or 3.6, which is horrible because it means that when your battery gets down to like 50 or 60%, it just dies. And that's what happens with the cheap, shitty batteries. These batteries have all of this diagnostic stuff in there to figure out how to void your warranty that you don't have access to, which in my definition, again, not diagnostic, that's spyware, but they don't have battery balancing circuitry in there. They put all this effort into how to void your warranty, but no effort into actually making sure that their fucking products last longer than the warranty. And there are people out there that may say this is done on purpose. There are people that may say that this is just stupid engineering. And honestly, at this point, it is a distinction without a difference to me. It's something that I used to talk about when it comes to Apple products. There's something I was talking about where they make MacBooks where the 50-volt power line is right next to the 1.7 volt data line that goes to the CPU. So if you look at the schematic in the board view here, the way that this was designed is pin 1 is the CPU data line for your picture, and pin 43 is supposed to be the 30 to 50 volts for LCD backlight. Here's the best guess that I can take as to what occurred in this scenario is you have something like the PCB and the schematic engineer that do not talk to each other. So the person designing the circuit says, I want to make sure that this little data line that's only 1 volt is as far away as possible from the 50 volt power line. So I'm going to put this one on pin 1 and this one on pin 43. And then the PCB engineer says, okay, well, this connector has to be a square. So pin 1 goes here, And then pin 43 goes right next to it, which is what you could see happening in the picture. Pin 1 is over here, and then pin 43 is over here. An honest mistake. When you make $70 billion a year, I'd hope you can make less mistakes like that, but whatever. It's an honest mistake. I get it. In 2016, fine. 2017, 2018, really? 2019, you seriously? 2020, you redesigned the entire fucking computer with an architecture that you created from scratch with ARM that beats desktops in rendering video, and you still left the fucking 50 volts next to the 1 volt data line. Are you fucking kidding me? So I can't tell you at what point ignorance becomes complicity, and I'm not here to make that distinction because I no longer care. Whether or not you knew this was a problem before, I don't care. You know it's a problem now because somebody with over 1 million subscribers has been telling you every fucking day for 3 years. Can you do me a favor? Put a gasket around it, maybe add a little bit of foam or something. Change the pinout when you're making a new screen for a new model so you don't put 50 volts next to the 1 volt data line going to the CPU, right where the fan is going to output the water. It starts as ignorance. It ends with, we're aware, we just don't care. Who cares whether it's intentional or not? It's intentional once you know it's a problem that fucks people and you let it just linger there anyway. What matters is after years and years of people complaining about issues with these batteries for these products and their warranties being voided, that you did not think to have one fucking person write something to do battery balancing. And I'm very glad that this gentleman decided to put all of his time and effort in to figure out how to get around this and show you how to get around it too. The beautiful part of this entire thing is that because this battery goes into so many systems and those systems do not connect to the internet, does your drill connect to the internet? They're not going to be able to update and change this to lock people out again very easily unless they release all new products, which I guess they could do. They could just say, yeah, if you want a new battery, you have to buy a new drill. I shouldn't say that out loud. This company is actually degenerate enough that they might just do that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much to Mr. Tool Scientist over here. I'll leave a link down below. This is a great video. People like him make the world go round. I'm serious. People that decide that they just get so pissed off at all this crap being hidden behind closed doors that they spend their entire day fucking with it. There's one thing I disagree with when he did his video. There's one part where he said something along the lines of like, I'm not just doing this for fun. Yeah, you are. And there's no shame in it. It's awesome. Do stuff for fun. Do what this guy does. Take shit apart, mess with it, and then share your findings with the world. Don't just save them for yourself. Don't think if I show other people how to do this that I'll make less money or I'll be less valuable or anything else. When you figure something out, when you figure out how to help people not get fucked by these companies, share it with everybody that you can. It's the best feeling in the world, and I guarantee you that he'll tell you himself. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. See you in the next one? Next one? Next one. I got to get myself some lunch. See you later.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.